Thank you, Teresa. And thank you for allowing me to come back up this morning. One of the benefits of being old, and I'm getting there, is you're able to see things in kind of a better perspective over time. And as I was thinking about doing this introduction for Neil today, I was thinking that when my dad, Zeke Radcliffe, that was his name, was put out on the street to fend for himself during the Great Depression at the age of 13, as were his 6 brothers, he used to talk to me and other people about the good old days of the Depression and World War II. I could hardly stand it at the time. It took years for me to understand that what he was trying to do was to teach me something important about ethics, about history, about how we should lead our lives. So when I come here today to introduce my friend of nearly 40 years, I can empathize both with Dad and earlier me. Neil and I were born into a time when racism was rampant in this country, and people were most often judged not by the quality of their character, but by the color of their skin. Not even our armed services were integrated at that time, and then only later in name only. Our white fathers fought fascism and came home to a country that was hidebound with hypocrisy, but exploding with hope. And for the first time on a broad popular scale, unions were becoming strong, and strong enough to make that critical difference and forge a middle class, which was comprised of both industrial and other workers. Neil and I are progeny of that societal awakening. We benefited from it. We were born into a time that we were born at a time that finally led us to question our social and political leadership. We both lived through McCarthyism, as some of you did, and we came of age just in time to understand that our political and societal leaders were capable of making huge mistakes, and that it was okay. It was okay to oppose the Vietnam War, to be a part of the civil rights movement, and the movement to organize public sector workers. They were all parts of the same thing. Even though the majority of people in America at that time, in varying degrees, thought that was wrong. Neil, much more than me, is publicly identified with the anti-war effort, something he continues to be denigrated for to this day, despite the fact that he has won numerous awards for his patriotism. We're both veterans of the civil rights movement, too. But he has a distinction which no one else has. While he fought politically to end racism himself, he also has the distinction of holding our president, Barack Hussein Obama, in his hands when our president was an infant. I can't go through all the history here at this time, but that act symbolizes our history. We are, and you are, on the right side of history, a history that's still being written. It's one thing to live through it, as we all did, or many of us did. It's another thing to be a vital part of it, and it's still something else to be a lifelong leader in it. Here we have a true leader in civil rights, for equality and justice for all, and a leader in the first unionization of faculty here in Hawaii, and he's gone on to be the most pro-union governor in the United States today, and maybe ever. So I'm grateful today to introduce my friend and Hawaii's best hope for a better tomorrow, the governor of the best place to live in the world, Governor Neil Abercrombie.